this is Zuili, and today I'm really excited because finally my camera got fixed and now I am able to give you quality tutorial videos. So I'm really excited for that. And today's tutorial is going to be how to make this rose flower sprays. Let me show you closely. So actually this tutorial is divided into two parts. So in first part I will be showing you how to make these rose flower buds as well as flowers, and in part 2 I'm going to show you how to make leaves, like rose flower leaves, as well as how to assemble all stems and flowers and leaves together to form a beautiful spray like this. Okay, so let's get started. So first of all, I'm using this Fiskars 5 petal punch. It is around 1.78 in size. Let me show you. So around, when you make petal, it's around 2 inches in size. So the petal, I'll show you the petals. Okay, you can see this petal. This is around 2 inch in size, around 1.78. Okay, so for a flower we are going to need 5 of these petals. So 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. And for bud we are going to need 1 petal, and slightly open bud we are going to need 2 petals. Okay, then I'm using this fire brick distress ink to give 2 tone for my rose flowers. Sorry, for greenery, so I cut this greenery. This is going to be for the entire rose flower, and it is around 2 inches in diameter. And also there are 2 small green base, and this is around 1.5 inches in diameter, and I'll be using these 2 for birds, like 2 types of birds, the closed bird and open bird. And if you don't have punches for like 5 petal punches, I'll be providing a template and for both the petals as well as the green base, and it is going to be on my blog, and the link for the blog is in the description box. Okay, then we are going to need this flower wire. Actually this is very thin, I think it's 26 gauge flower wire, and I will be cutting them into 5 inches in size. Okay. Also I will need aluminum foil. This is around 2.5 inches by 4 inches in size. What else? Yeah, we are going to need a water spray, glue, and this flower tape. Okay, And what else? Okay, so and also we are going to use this embossing tools, tweezer, and I'm using this piercing tool. Then pair of scissors, and I'm using this plier. I will show you. It's like for very it's not we just have to bend our wire a little bit, so I'm using this. Okay, so let's start with our flower. Okay, so first of all, we are going to make the base like this for the flower. And one more thing I want to mention over here is I am also watching many YouTube videos to create flowers, and whenever I feel like some tips that are going to be useful while making my flowers, I am using those tips from other YouTube videos, and I am also providing you with my own tips while making these flowers, because while making I feel that there are certain modifications I need to do in my flower, so I'll be giving you those tips as we start making these flowers. Okay, so to make this base, what we are going to do is we have this aluminum foil. We are going to roll it in a ball, and it is around 1/2 inches in size, like in I mean like diameter. Okay, and then I am going to pierce one hole in the center with this piercing tool. Let me get close. So after, I'm just making sure that it is even from all sides. Okay, and then we are going to take this flower wire and now we are going to need this plier. So we are going to slightly bend towards the tip so that it's to form a kind of hook at the tip. Oh, I think can you see this? Okay, and then we are going to insert this in this hole. Sometimes these hooks get locked in this aluminum ball or aluminum foil ball, or sometimes you need to put some glue. Mine is not fixed, so I'll put some glue here. Okay, and let it dry. So meanwhile we can start. Oops. Okay, meanwhile we can start making our petals. So let's take this petal, get the distress ink, and I'm going to slightly put the distressing on the edges. On both sides. Okay. Then we are going to spray some water. Okay, and one more thing is I'm using for this flower, I'm using a Recollection 65 LB cardstock. I found that I had tried many different texture paper, but I felt like for roses you need that silky texture. So I found that this paper works really good for making these roses. So now this is damp with water. Now what we are going to do, you are going to give a twist at the tip, towards all the tip. Okay, you are going to twist it. Okay, so after giving this twist, what you are going to do, you are going to roll both the sides inside like this with your fingers, maybe with your thumb. Okay, do the same for all remaining 4 lobes. Okay, now it is ready like this. Now what we are going to do, take your embossing mat and with this embossing tool you are going to emboss in the center to form like a ball. Okay, now we made this base. What we are going to do, one more thing is we are going to insert a hole in the center. Where is my piercing tool? Got it. So just press it inside in the center, make a hole, or if you have the small hole punch you can make a hole with that as well. And then you are going to put this flower wire. You are going to apply some glue. In the center. And slide it down. Just make sure that it is sticking very well from all sides. Okay. Now here is the trick. So now what we are going to do, we are going to cover this entire ball, not entire, maybe half of the ball with one of the petal. So apply glue completely on one petal, like maybe one lobe. Okay, and now you are going to wrap it around this ball like this. Just hold it for a while. Okay, now go leave one next lobe and go to third lobe. Now you are going to put glue towards the base and on both sides, like halfway. I will show you. Like this. And then just wrap it around this petal or this ball, and just squeeze it little tightly. Just make sure that you are not tearing the paper, and also make sure sometimes this will pop up if it is not sticking properly, so make sure that this first lobe is sticking on the aluminum ball properly, and also this lobe is sticking from both sides. Okay, so it is going to be like this. Now come to this petal and apply some glue towards the base and wrap it around. Okay, go to this lobe, do the same thing, apply some glue at the base and wrap it around. And just make sure if there is any paper is pointing out, just try to press it inside. Okay. Also so you can roll between two fingers or palm and finger. And don't worry if you see any glue marks over there on the base, it will get hide with that green base. And once it is little wet right now, so once it gets dried completely, we can flip these edges if we want. Okay, so this is our bird ready. Okay, so one more thing I wanted to tell you, that you can use this glimmer mist. This is from Tattered Angels glimmer mist to give some shimmering accent to your bird. So you can just spray it and let it dry for a while. Meanwhile, we'll start making a slightly open bird. So I already made this first layer of the bird. This is ready, and I have this petal ready. So what I'm going to do, again same thing, spray some water on both sides. And if you see, sometimes if the color is too dark, it will, with the water, it will start trailing down. So don't worry, let it trail down. Sometimes it gives a very natural effect to your flower. So do the same thing, twist it at the tip, give us twist, and then start rolling both the sides inside. So you don't have to be too perfect with each roll. A little bit variation here and there is fine. Now we are going to emboss it again. Put the hole in the center. And okay, so now you have to watch this very carefully, what I'm going to do. Okay, so first apply glue at the base. Okay, let it stick nicely, and you have to make sure that each lobe is aligning in such a way that it is in between these two overlapping lobes. Okay, so second lobe is in between these two overlapping lobes. Okay, now what we are going to do, we are going to apply glue at the bottom and just on one side halfway, and then we are going to stick it. So don't try to stick that lobe completely to this main bird, just at the bottom and on one of the side. You are doing the same thing for next lobe. So this side will overlap on the previous. Let me show you. This side will overlap on this previous lobe. So it will be sticking from at the base and on this side. Let's go to next one. Do the same thing at the bottom and on one of the side halfway, one of the edge, I mean. And you can press it tightly since it has the foil base in the center. It will help you to press it very tightly. So if you see, all these lobes are overlapping on each other. Sorry. Okay. This is fourth one. And now in the case of last one, this should go below this first one. Okay, so we have to make sure that. So we have to make sure that it's getting inserted and this first lobe is overlapping the last petal. So if you press it tightly at the base, it will help to get rid of all those pointy edges at the base, and you will get a nice smooth base. And once it is dry, you can always turn them out. These edges you can flip them out. You see? Okay. So this is our semi-open bud. I'll put some glimmer mist. And let it dry. Now we are going to make a completely open flower. So again I made already, I kept this bird ready for us to save on time. So for second layer we are going to do the same thing what we did before, but I just want to show you again so that it will be good practice for you. Spray water, twist the edges, roll it inside. So now I did roll all sides, and then I'll do the same thing. Apply some glue at the base, in the center I mean. Slide it, make sure that lobes are aligned properly. Apply glue at base and one of the side, halfway. Place it tightly. Go to next lobe, do the same thing. This is last. This is our second layer. So we will be putting total 5 layers for this flower. So grab another petal, oops, spray some water, twist it on side, also on the tips. I'm doing this fast because it is the same thing what we have been doing for all petals. So all edges are rolled. Make a bowl shape, pierce one hole in the center, insert it, apply glue, and again make sure that each lobe is in between the two previous overlapping lobe. Okay. Now for the third petal we are going to apply glue just at the base, this much. just hold it for a while. We don't have to close this layer very tightly. It's good if there is little space between separating these layers. Okay. This is fourth petal. Same, do the same thing. Again, do the same thing. Make sure that these lobes are aligning properly against the previous lobes. Okay, now in this case we are applying glue at the base, but in very small volume, just one line. Now go to last one. Again, spray water. Just it at the edge. This is our last petal. Oops, I'm sorry. And our flower is ready. And if you want, you can add glimmer mist and let it dry for a while. Meanwhile, we'll add green base to our birds, both birds, like the closed one and open one. So these are our bases, the smaller one, the smaller size. We are again going to split some water and just give a squeeze with 2 fingers. Okay. Do this same thing for other green base. And take our first petal. Now if you want, you can give shapes to your bed. So use tweezer shape, in the sense you can flip these edges if you want. The greenery pierce hole in the center, and if you want, you can wait till it's get dry, but I don't have much time to wait now, so I will just use it as it is. Slide it. Now just apply glue halfway on each lobe. And just close it. And also make sure that the lobes are kind of aligning nicely, properly. They are not overlapping too much on each other. And if you want, you can slightly squeeze them with this tweezer as well. Like this. Squeeze in the between and just press it so that each lobe will get kind of separated from each other. So this is our closed bird ready. Do the same thing for open bird. black glue halfway on each lobe. And close it. Again, make sure that each lobe is aligning properly. And since we are using tacky glue, if you think that the lobes are kind of overlapping each other, you can slightly move them around. Again, if you want to flip this edges, you can do that, but I think I will just leave it as it is. I like them. I don't want to flip them too much.